Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings to everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Raden Jachregantravis from class numerical method 01. And in this opportunity, I want to give you guys uh, an insight about numerical method, which is from the DAI5 problem solving method, conscious thinking, as well as solving numerical method problems using the E5 method. So this video will be a long video playlist which is divided into parts. This is the first part. So hello everyone, once again. For this final challenge, a review for numerical method videos and quiz, part 1. Now, before we start, I would like to give out my intentions before starting as a reminder for myself to stay conscious. So I have a few written intentions here, which I will say at the start of almost every video. So the first one, my intention is to complete this work for the sake of the Almighty God, of course. And the second one is to evaluate and recall back what I've learned from numerical method this semester. And I've learned a lot of things from Padai as well as the teacher before him, and I'd like to evaluate myself and recall back on what I learned as this is the end of the semester. The third one is I would like to always remember to be conscious throughout this entire process. Of course, as we are learning about conscious thinking, I need to always be conscious throughout. And the fourth one is I want to evaluate what I can improve to be more conscious and self reflect based on my answers. So, for this fourth intention, I'll be collecting evaluations and materials for self reflection. And at the end of this video playlist on part 4, I'll be doing a self reflection. So, first, I want to talk about the DAI5 conscious thinking. So, as you can see on the left, there are problems in real life where we face every day, such as complex, complex decision making, critical analysis, and sometimes we struggle also in doing these two, such as doing things for the sake of God and keeping hablu bin Allah and hablu bin anas, which is the relationship between us and God and us with other people. So these are problems in real life that we face every day that can be mitigated if we do conscious thinking. And so we can use from these four problems in real life. There are other problems as well, but in this video, bringing up four main problems. We can use the DAI5 conscious thinking framework, which the E5 stands for Dr. Ahmad Indra plus I4, which is a problem-solving framework created by Dr. Ahmad Indra Siswantara as a tool for us to solve problems in real life, not only for numerical method or fluid mechanics or other uh, engineering subjects, but it can also be implemented for all aspects of our life. And this framework is using the basis of conscious thinking. And the main goal of this, the ultimate goal, is to reach CCIT, or as we say, cara cerdas ingat Tuhan, or consciousness into Tawhid. Okay. In this part, I'll be focusing on discussing the E5 method, which is consisted of four main four main parts, four main steps. The first one being intention, the second one being initial thinking about the problem. The third one is idealization. And it ends with the fourth one, which is instruction. First up, intention. This first step of the DAI5 method is about defining the purpose or goal of the problem solving effort. This means clearly understanding and articulating what you aim to achieve. It's the foundation for all subsequent steps and setting a clear direction and focus. Setting an intention requires you to consciously decide on a specific outcome. This focused thinking helps avoid ambiguity and distractions. Intention also aligns your mental energy towards the goal, making sure your efforts are directed and meaningful. This is why in every intention, you always try to do it because of God. Because when we get our mental energy aligned, we can do this effortlessly. So it is really important to get your intentions right before continuing to solve a problem. After we have set our intentions clear, we can move on to the next step, which is initial thinking about the problem. This stage involves gathering initial thoughts, observations, and understanding of the problem. It's an exploratory phase where you start to form a basic idea of the problem, considering various perspectives and possible causes. So, this step engages your conscious mind to think critically about the problem, asking questions, and reflecting on initial observations. This phase can involve brainstorming and mind mapping to capture a broad range of ideas and insights, helping to build a comprehensive understand of the issue. So, initial thinking about the problem is where you deep dive into the problem and you look at how can you solve this. For example, if there is water uh, flowing out of the tank, so the initial thinking about the problem would be the Bernoulli law. So uh, this step is crucial in setting what you will do in the next steps of the framework. So after completing the initial thinking about the problem, after you know what to do now with the problem, and after you write down what you know and what you want to know, we move on to the next step, which is idealization. What's idealization? This step involves envisioning the ideal solution or outcome. It's about imagining the best possible scenario without being constrained by current limitations or practicalities. Well, this step, idealization, is where you make assumptions and set the conditions on the problem before solving it. For example, you want to solve a CFD problem. The idealization would be that, for example, the air is incompressible, or the flow is laminar, and etc. So idealization is the condition of the problem when you save it, when you do it. So you make assumptions. Idealization also encourages you to think beyond the immediate constraints and imagine a perfect solution. This taps into creative and innovative aspects of conscious thoughts. So through idealization, you try to think further. You try to think on what can we do with this problem. And after idealization, we move on to the final step of the DAE5 method, which is instruction. This step is taking all we know from the problem, from the intention, initial thinking, and idealization, and actually forming a solution for the problem itself. This instruction phase requires you to consciously strategize and plan each step needed to achieve the desired outcome. This involves logical thinking and foresight of the problem. So instruction is the final step of this DAI5 method. Although in certain aspects where it's a loop, we can go back to the first part of the DAI5 problem solving method, which is intention. So it's a loop according to what you're gonna do with the problem. And this is a checkpoint and a reminder for us. Remember to always be conscious before, when, and after doing each step. As we know, there are four steps to the DAI5 method, and before, when doing, and after doing each step, we need to make sure that ourselves is conscious before we continue on to the next method. And here's have an illustration about a conscious thinking mind and a non-conscious. The non-conscious thinking mind might sound the easier path. It's faster, it's low effort, and it doesn't, but it doesn't reach it's the solution is not thoughtful enough. It's something that you do in a hurry and you're not conscious when doing it. That's the entire thing. It's called conscious thinking. Well, when you do conscious thinking, you think about it slower, with more effort, and you make a more reasoned decision making. So, through conscious thinking, this doesn't just affect our life. This doesn't just affect how we do solve numerical method problems or fluid mechanic problems, but conscious thinking is the way of life, the way of how we think, the way of how we make decisions. And each decision that we make with conscious thinking compared with unconscious thinking, in the long term, it would make a huge difference. So that is it for me for the first part of this four part video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Watch the next video and like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done so. And thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.